Welcome gamers, my name is Keith Hershey, and in this video I am going to be seeking answers to questions and advice on a topic called descriptive narrating. What do I mean by that term, descriptive narrating? Alright, let's say you are the GM and the group of adventurers that you are DMing for are walking down a corridor. They open up a door into a room, and here is where you're going to describe the scene, what the party sees, what monsters are in there, what the furniture is, so forth. That's what I mean by descriptive narrating. And I'm seeking tips for both experienced GMs and newer GMs, as I think some of the newer GMs find this aspect of DMing one of the hardest aspects, is to set up. And this is one of the things that if you don't have a lot of confidence, may really tear down a DM, because they're unsure. They're trying to portray what they see, and they're not sure if the players are seeing what they're describing. In a sense, it doesn't have to be perfect. You want your players to use their imagination. But in some respects, you do want to convey and communicate effectively. So anyhow, here's some of the questions I have. How much time do you generally use to describe and set up a room or a scene? Comment below or make a video response. Now, is there such a thing as too much describing? Is there such a thing as too little? Does the amount of time you use to describe or set up the scene vary depending on the player types of players that you have? What do I mean by player types? Again, I'll post a link down below. Also, I'll try and post a link for Sean Connors where he goes over player types. Sean Connors' channel is the Outsider 68. So some of the player types, power gamers versus let's say storytellers, or is there a difference in how much time you describe, or is there a different way of describing for those different player types? Is there any tips you have for those new players that get so excited because, okay, they open the door. This is that really cool encounter I set up where they're going to do this really awesome thing. And you open the door and you're like, they're so excited they just blurt everything out and don't really effectively communicate and set up the screen, and just say, you enter a 20 by 30 foot room, there's a balcony in the back that's 10 feet high, there's 3 orcs with bows, roll for initiative. Is there a way to break that? Is there a way to better handle that? Is there a way to get over that sudden rush instead of taking your time and really describing and setting up the scene? There's another channel I'm going to mention here. He did a video before he left. His channel name was Tower Guard DM. I really miss him. Some of you older YouTube channels will remember him. Unfortunately, the newers didn't get a chance to see some of his great videos he had. Anyhow, in that video, he mentioned using the 5 senses in describing and setting up your scenes. Your sense of smell. What does a person smell? Is there a taste? Anything that you taste? Is there a feeling that you get? Or a touch? Is it hot, cold? What does the players see? What do the players hear? Another question. Is there a difference in the way you describe and set up a scene if you use terrain and miniatures and or visual aids? Is there any difference to setting up those? Do they help? Do they hinder? I want to know your opinions and why. And last night I was doing some digging around and on this topic, and I found some sites which I'll link down below in the description area. But there's this one site that had an article that really touched on this really well, I thought. And it was from a site called dungeonsmaster.com, where he was GMing at a local gaming store, and he was bringing in pickup players to play in the games he was DMing. Well, players sat down, and he soon discovered that the player was blind. And in this article, he describes the challenges he had playing with a blind player, and more importantly, what benefits it actually brought to his DMing style and the enjoyment of the game for the other players. I really highly recommend you guys to read through the article. I really got a lot out of it myself. But anyhow, I'd greatly appreciate your comments, your suggestions, your tips, and feedback on this. Once again, please leave a comment down below, or better yet, please leave a video response covering this. Anyhow, thank you for your time. Happy gaming, and remember, start small, keep it simple, and build on in little bricks. Anyhow, happy gaming. See you around.